I'm going to be talking about my 2026 language learning goals. For next year. I have my little notes here, actually real life written. Usually I do notes on my on my computer for these, on my laptop for these types of videos, but I actually decided to write some down this time. I don't know. So yeah, I have a few languages I'm going to be trying to focus on. Y'all, I do this every year. Literally every year. I'm like, oh, here's the 7 languages I'm going to be really focusing on. And then, yeah, but I'm trying to be realistic this time, and you will see that. You will see that because now that I've done it so many years, I'm like, I'm going to be doing these 5 languages. And then obviously the year goes by and that does not happen. So it's like, I'm being realistic, okay? But first off, I want to talk about Spanish. Obviously, my baby, the language that I have been putting in the most effort for, the most consistent with for a while now. Ever since finishing the Dreaming Spanish roadmap, my question has been, what is my life like after the roadmap? And honestly, it's been good so far, but there are a few things that I'm really gonna hone in on for next year. Number 1 being speaking, and I want to be speaking daily. I do have the opportunity to do that 1000%. And that being said, I also mean speaking to myself. I'm not a person where it feels awkward to speak out loud to myself. I do it all the time. I don't know. I really like to hear what I have to say. So for me, it's not awkward. It's not weird. So I'm really trying to train my brain to even be thinking in Spanish. I'll talk to myself out loud in Spanish. I tried to build the habit of doing it the past week or 2. And so I'm going to continue with that habit. Since I have the ball rolling, we're going to let that ball get bigger. Really, my goal with speaking is to become so comfortable in speaking that within the first few months, I would say maybe thinking about from March to mid-year, I want to feel comfortable in my speaking enough that I can start doing accent work. Now, for me personally, this is very important. But I started to realize that trying to get used to speaking and trying to do accent work at the same time is just a lot. So I decided to just let go of how I sound for a little bit and just work on saying the right things, work on being able to communicate well, which I can do, but I'm still not confident yet. As well, sometimes whenever I've been speaking too much, I definitely do get mouth fatigue and my pronunciation goes out the window. So really just working on these really basic things before I even start to worry about how I'm sounding. Let's just make sure we can communicate well first and do it in a confident and smoother way. That's really what I am focusing on right now. And that being said, that does kind of work in some grammar. As I have been speaking a lot lately, I'm noticing more and more the grammar issues that I have. And so next year, it's really my goal that 2 times a month, I'm going to meet with a grammar tutor, and I'm trying to work with somebody on italki that is a professional teacher, just because I have done this with community tutors and I don't know, there's just something that's missing. So I want to work with a professional on this and hopefully find somebody who can really make things work with my brain, because just doing some grammar drills really is not enough for me. We could do those all day and then it goes through one eye and out the other essentially. So I really want somebody who, I don't know, is a little bit more of an expert on these types of things. So that is one of my goals for grammar, as well as really looking towards the future. It is my goal to be as native in Spanish as possible, C1, C2 level. So I may start looking into that a little bit just as a guideline. More than prepping for the test, I want it to be a guideline for me of what I should be working on, if that makes sense. As well as for next year, I want to journal weekly in Spanish just to keep my writing up. I definitely have been, I used to journal all the time. I have slacked on that so much. We can give some of the credit to brain rot. So thinking outside of language goals, that's something I really want to work on, being more intentional with the things that I do, being more locked into the things that I do. And I think that journaling weekly in Spanish will definitely help me with that. So even though I'm done with the roadmap, I still want to be tuned into learner content. Specifically, I want to continue watching the videos of Spanish Boost and also Spanish with Gaia, just because, for one, I am a Patreon member of Spanish Boost. So yes, I'm going to be watching those videos, but I do think it is important to revisit learner content every once in a while because there's still so much to learn. And I think sometimes I can miss it whenever I'm watching native videos. So for that reason, I still want to make sure I'm doing the learner content here and there. I also really want to finally start the Radio Ambulante podcast because I think that it would be so helpful for me just because it has so many different accents, and also because of the fact that it's going to be so many different topics that I'm not used to listening to. That being said, I want to listen to that along with podés, which is a Colombian podcast where she'll have on people from all different walks of life. And that is also very, very helpful because of the topics that they talk about. I really want to be well-rounded in Spanish, and I say that all the time, and then I'm really, really bad at being well-rounded. So next year I really want to be more intentional about that. And then the last goal I have with Spanish is reading, of course. So this year I did Joe Renee's 25 and 25 language challenge, and I think I got to 18 books. I felt pretty good about that. I knew from the beginning I was probably not going to get to 25, but I did not think I was going to get so close to 25. And so it definitely has boosted my confidence in reading. And so next year I'm going to be joining another language challenge, which is going to be hosted in the Spanish Boost server, which is like essentially like this little bingo card. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about that because it's going to make my reading a lot more diverse. I'm really trying to focus on reading untranslated works. I think there probably will be some translated books that I will end up getting in there just because sometimes they're easier to find, I fear. But I'm really, really excited about that one as well. So yeah, those are all of my goals for Spanish that I'm looking forward to in 2026. All right, you guys, moving on to the next language. I will be finally starting French in a serious way this year. Well, next year, 2026. This year, like in March, I like started dabbling in French and I got to like 7-9 hours and then I just was like, okay, I'm done. But now that Dreaming French is out, I'm a lot more motivated to finally get into French. Now I will say it did suck that there isn't really that many super beginner videos. So I'm not ready to subscribe to Dreaming French just because I don't see what I'm going to be getting out of it. It's not like I need their website in specific to be tracking my time. So yeah, I won't be subscribing yet, but I really look forward to the day that I do. But yeah, so my biggest goal with French is to be getting 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day of input. I'm really going to try to shoot for 30. But y'all, I have a lot of things I want to do, and I want to be a lot more intentional next year about the hobbies I'm doing, the things I'm doing. And so I want to really, I don't know, be realistic about things. And I'm not trying to do like a speed run like I did with Spanish, which I mean, honestly, I was not the fastest speed runner, but I guess technically compared to the fact that, you know, doing a few hours a day of Spanish is kind of a lot. It technically was a type of speed run. I'm definitely not looking forward to doing that again because now that I've gotten so far in Spanish, I want to enjoy that a little bit. I would just want to enjoy life a little bit and not just have it be so glued to a screen like that. You know, I want to be outside a little bit more. And my approach to French is going to be a little bit more heavy on the reading. So I'm still gathering resources of what exactly I'm going to be doing for that, how exactly I'm going to approach reading in French. But really for me, it's going to be reading and heavy input. Of course, I think input is everything. And luckily, French is one of those languages where there is a lot of resources out there. So there won't really be any excuses for why I can't do it. So yeah, I'm really excited about French. I think the biggest thing with me for French, though, is I need to remember why I want to learn it. And it's more than just the fact that Dreaming French is out now. I think that French is a language that I will really enjoy because it lends itself to a lot of my personal hobbies. As in, I really, really love classic films. I love classic art. I'm very much that type of person. And you find that French culture is so rich in that specifically. So I think for that reason, that will be like my biggest motivator of being able to watch classic films in the original French and these types of things. I'm really, really looking forward to. Whenever it comes to like speaking and like writing, I'm not really interested in that. Starting off, I do wonder if I will want to do a little bit more pronunciation work because with Spanish, I didn't really care about pronunciation so much until later on. That's why I still can't roll my R's. We're working on it though. But with French, I'm very, very nervous about the pronunciation and I almost feel like, will I ever be able to do that? But so maybe for that reason, I may dabble a little bit in doing pronunciation work from the beginning. I don't know. We will see how it goes with the time that I have. Being the most straightforward, I'm really just looking for input and then doing some reading here and there to help with vocabulary and kind of move things along since I won't be doing so much input every day. So next up on the list, we have Korean. Now, this is not my first attempt. It's not my second. It's not even my 10th. Me and Korean, we go a little bit too far back and I'm really at the point where it's like, I have had to sit down and like really be real about it. And like, okay, if we're going to learn this language, we need to be realistic with the resources that we have. and we just need to do it already. So that being said, there's just not a lot of input for Korean. Mind you, it is possible. There is like some resource where like this, where somebody has like a whole list of Korean input that they've used since being a beginner. The bigger issue for me is that that's just simply not working. I don't like those videos. I find them to be so boring. That being said, I have to find a way to learn Korean that's actually going to stick. And so I am choosing to be a little bit more traditional in my approach for Korean, honestly, because it kind of gives me a goal. It gives me something to work towards other than just, well, I did 30 minutes today. I just need a little bit more substance, I think, with Korean. And I don't know why I just don't give up at this point. I don't know why. Me and Korean go back. I literally started learning Korean when I was like 11 years old or something. And at one point I actually did get pretty good, like intermediate. But then I just like stopped. And now I'm baby beginner, and I keep on going back and forth with trying to learn it, and clearly I'm not doing a good job. So with Korean, my bigger goal is 2 times a week. 2 times a week. Very, very slow progress, but still progress can be made. And if I can at least stick to that, I think that will mean something. I don't know. So of course I do want to do input. A lot of the input that is available for Korean is just not the input that you would find with like French or Spanish. Like a lot of the times it's like these characters and there's like so much writing on the screen, and it's not the input that we think of. So that, I think, alongside a course in Korean is what I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't remember exactly the place, but I think it's the Sejong Institute. They offer like a whole Korean course for free online, self-guided. So my idea is to do this course, their beginner's course. So not like, they have like a 0 course, but I'm going to be doing the beginner's course. And I'm going to be doing it at least twice a week. Also, I'm going to be doing it in Spanish. That's going to be different, but I think it's going to be very helpful to help me continue advancing in Spanish and be doing Korean at the same time, especially because I'm going to be trying to learn these languages at the same time. I do want there to be like something in my brain that's like, okay, but like Spanish, I don't know. I think it makes sense. We will see how it goes. I will update you guys. But since I'm just doing beginning Korean, I don't think it's going to be that difficult to do this course in Spanish. That being said, yeah, I'm very excited for it. My thing is 2 times a week. 2 times a week. That's all I have to do. And yeah, we will see how that goes. Like I said, I don't know why I don't just give up at this point. There's just something inside of me that's like, no, we have to do this. Especially because I think in the long run, I do want to learn at least one Asian language. I have to. I don't know. I just really, really want that to be a thing. And yeah, I just go with Korean because at the end of the day, I love Korean media the most. So it's the most relevant for me. So yeah, that's why I haven't given up yet. We will see how it goes next year. We will see. Fingers crossed. And then last but not least, Portuguese. Portuguese has consistently been on my language goals for like the last few years, and me and her haven't met yet. That being said though, I do think I'm getting to the point in Spanish where I'm feeling confident enough, especially now that I'm speaking more regularly, that Portuguese will be finally making its debut into my life. I'm so excited about that. Now, of course, with everything else I have going on, I do want to, more than anything, just start dabbling in Portuguese. I do have a good, extensive resource list of beginning Portuguese, super beginner Portuguese, things that I can use, especially because my sister has been learning Portuguese for a while now. So because of that, I definitely feel confident in the beginning of Portuguese that I will be having. But more than anything, it'll be a dabble. It's really going to be light. It's not going to be like, oh, you have to do 30 minutes a day, anything like that, which of course things could change. We don't know how we'll go with Korean. But I'm really, really looking forward to that because I have been wanting to get into Portuguese, and I think I'm finally going to be ready for that in 2026. So anyways, you guys, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good about next year, especially because I tried to end this year on a high note, especially whenever it came to speaking. You know, speaking was one of my big goals. It was like my biggest goal for Spanish this year. And while I did make strides, I didn't make the strides I wanted to make. I was not consistent. I definitely had some meltdowns along the way, which is okay. That's part of the process. Maybe not for everybody. I could be a little bit dramatic. But that being said, I'm really looking forward to just continuing next year, especially with the consistency of speaking. If I can do that, I really think things are going to be looking up for me, as well as a little bit more grammar focused work. I think that's going to be very important for me as well. And so anyways, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you have any goals for next year for yourself and your language learning journeys, please share them. I always love to read about it and get inspired by others. And anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Happy New Year. Bye.